Now you have already begun your puzzle cube statistics. So far what you've done is created your mean, median, and mode. You've found those statistics. Now we're going to work on standard deviation. If you remember, the formula for standard deviation for our population is to sum the difference of the individual data minus the mean, square that, divided by, and then sum that and divide it by the number of items. Finally, we would square root. First thing we're going to do right now is this portion. We're going to find our difference. So I'm going to go back to my deal. We're going to, just like before, we're going to copy and paste our data. So I'm going to right click and copy. You can also use Control C to copy, Control V to paste, or you can right click. Now that I have my data, now what I have to do is I'm going to move my mean over here. I'm going to say I want to have a mean column, and my mean was 0.7551. Yours will be something different. So enter your mean here. Now I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste. I'm using Control C, Control V to enter that data. Next, I'm going to find the difference. So I'm going to, if you double click that column heading that edge right there, it will automatically size. So I'm going to enter a formula that says equal. I'm going to come over to cell H4 where my length for that cube is, and then I'm going to say minus, and I'm going to move over to this cell, and I'm going to say enter. Now I'm going to copy and paste. I right clicked that time, and I'm going to right click and paste. You can do it either Control copy. Copy is Control C, paste is Control V. And next thing we need to do is square our differences. So I'm going to say equals this number, and then we want to use the housetop or caret key and square it and say enter. Again, I'm going to copy that down to the rest of the column. At this point, I'm going to now I'm going to sum those differences. So I'm going to bold this cell, and I'm going to go back to home and tell it I want an auto sum of those numbers. Notice it's saying cell K4 through K33. I can double check by coming up and looking to make sure it's got all of my items. And there is my sum. Let's go back and review our formula. We want to have the difference of the data items and the mean squared, sum. Our next step would be to divide by the number of items. So going back to Excel, I'm going to say I want to enter a formula that says equal this divided by 30. And this tells us our number right here for that step. What is under our square root? I'll tell it I want that to be bold. My final step then is going to be to calculate the square root. So I'm going to say I want to calculate the square root. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to use a formula that's a math formula, and I'm going to come down to square root. I want the square root of this number and say enter, and I have my standard deviation for my population. I can now I want to go ahead and set that. We said we would save these as 4-digit numbers, so I'm going to decrease it to where I have 4-digit decimal places. So I know my standard deviation for the population is this number, and that's a little longer than I want it, so I'm going to slide it over here and merge those two. I'm going to hit Control B for bold, and I'm going to put a box around this, and make that a different color. We'll make it some shade of lavender. So there is my standard deviation for my population.